for jumping on. This is a Kwanzaa Moment with the Gibsons. Larry Gibson in Swahili, Kamu, and I'm his wife, Barbara Gibson. Thank you all for joining us. And I am the owner of Capture Images by Barbara Photography. And this evening we're coming to you with a very special message that basically resonates during this time of the pandemic.
Habari gani.
Habari gani.
Habari gani.
Hope you all are repeating it with us. Habari gani and greetings. What's the news?
What's the news? The news today is not this, 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 this. The first day was Ujamaa. The second day was Ujamaa. The third day was Ujamaa. And today, Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
And you know how we are. We are very expressive when we talk. So you put a little snaz with it, you know. Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
And Ujamaa means cooperative economics. Cooperative economics. To build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit together from them. Ujamaa. As before, when you start the celebration or the acknowledgement of the Kwanzaa celebration, always permission from the elders. Whenever we do anything, you get permission. So, in everybody's own home or in everybody's own space, you know, if you're the elder, then you okay it. And everybody around, you know, wherever you are, just say, now it's time to start the ceremony, because that's what it is. It's ceremony too. It's not, again, it's not replacement for Christmas. It's not a religious holiday, but it's an acknowledgement, a observation, and an application of the Nguzo Saba. The Nguzo Saba are the 7 principles that we're dealing with. And those principles are what sustain us as a people, if we really apply them to our everyday living. So after the permission from the elder, you know, we take the kikombe, and I know some of you remember what a kikombe is. It's the unity cup that we pour the libation from. And libation is when you pour a drink offering, whether it be water, whether it be liquor, whether it be wine. You know, you utilize that to acknowledge the Supreme, our Creator, you know, the Most High God, to acknowledge our ancestors, to acknowledge those of our ancestors, our relatives that lost lives during the struggle of our emancipation, and even during the course of our enslavement, you know, and to acknowledge our children, our hope here, those that are in America and those that are of the diaspora, you know, that they'll be mindful of being one, which was the first principle, Umoja, unity. That's what we need.
And that's what you have to start with, unity.
You have to start with it.
United. If you're not unified, if you're not united, you're not going to really get very far.
So what we're going to do, we're going to, if I can get this, we're going to light the unity candle. Then we're going to light, that was Umoja. We're lighting Ujamaa. We are lighting Ujamaa. And the fourth day, we are lighting another red candle, which is Ujamaa.
That's today. Ujamaa.
That's today.
So we have a total of 4 candles lit right behind us. And tell them the name of what's holding the candles.
The Kinara is what's holding the candle. And that signifies or symbolizes us coming from the same place, being together.
And for those who might be watching for the first time tonight, the reason for a total of 7 candles?
The reason for 7 candles is to express or to share the 7 principles, the Nguzo Saba, that we're going to start applying to our everyday living so that we can begin to move forward more holistically as a people, as a one people. You know, as we were sharing on yesterday eve, there's no I or me in our village, in our culture. It's always been, you know, us, you know, we. And if you say I, it's I and I, you know, that I concept. Same as it is with our Creator. He said, I am. So Ubuntu, I am because we are, and we are because I am. So if that apply, that I in that concept becomes plural. It's never individual. So with the Mishumu count Saba, Mishumu Saba, those are the 7 candles representing the same oneness of utilizing those principles on the Kinara. Back again, we have the Bandera, which is our liberation flag, that with the red, black, and green, which symbolizes the black for us as a people, the red for our struggle and the lives lost, the green is for the earth, the land that we come from Africa, and even the land here in America that we help to develop and to have made to become really a world power because of, you know, what we've accomplished, what we've achieved, and what we have really given ourselves to, you know, the system. We have the Mazoa, which is the harvest and the fruit. And I share it again because we're not agriculturally inclined anymore. Our fruit, our harvest is our children. You know, so they are what we teach them or not. Yeah. So if we teach them truth, we instill in them solid character, giving them solid principles to live by, and then the greatness that they obtain to, you know, we can hold our chest out, you know.
And, you know, I just want to interject that this is the perfect time for those teachings. So, so many of us with our daily lives, we're working outside the home up until the pandemic, and we really didn't have a lot of at-home time with our children. They spend a big bulk of their time in the classroom. This is coming from a former teacher. Like, you have 7 hours in the classroom. They got 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for them to be at home, because then you have the traveling time in between to and from school. So the bulk of the time they're away. But now they're in our house, you know, they're at home more. So this is a perfect time to instill some of these character, you know, attributes into our children right now. So, you know, I know it's difficult. It's very, very different having to homeschool your children, you know, forced homeschooling, but not just in the academics. It's a perfect time to instill some of these values in our kids because you have them at home a little bit longer right now.
Back, we have our Vibunzi, which is our ears of corn, to represent the number of children in your family. Like my father had 11, so we had a whole crop of corn on our table.
We only had 3, so there were 3 ears of corn.
So we have also other instruments and statues and masks to represent different parts of, you know, Benin statue over here, the bust representing the west coast of Africa. You're talking about Benin, Togo, Senegal, Mali, Ghana. You're talking about Congo in the middle. Here, the black and white mask, and South Africa. Zulu and Xhosa, and all of the representation. Africa.
What about this one?
This one.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from Benin.
Okay.
This is called a face tack, and this represent the royalty doing the. At one time, all of the West Coast was connected and became. It was the Benin Empire. At one time, it was the Mali Empire. One time, it was the Ghanaian Empire. But all of those places were still connected and one. They weren't separated. They were all together. And then when colonization came about, then it broke down into different facets of different countries, like Nigeria, Cameroon, Senegal, Chad. Whatever the country was then, the people broke off. But there was always a coming together. It was a unified Africa. Matter of fact, at the beginning, Africa was called Al-Qubalan, means land of the blacks. That's all. And then that terminology that the word Africa came from as well, Europeans. But we embraced it and, made it so that it became viable to us. But the original, wording for Africa was Al-Qubalan. So we're gonna delve just a little on the principle for today. Oh, well, let me share this. Mkeka. The Mkeka is the mat, the straw mat that all of our display stand on. And it represents the place of home to us as a people. No matter where we are in the diaspora, home is still Africa, to us as a people. I don't care where you live at now, It's just like, if you take a basketball and put it in the oven, it doesn't make it a turkey. So if our ancestors are Africans, then that's what we are. So, as children, we were taught at one time that if you call somebody an African or you call somebody black, or you get punched in the eye. Because we didn't play that. It was a disconnect. We didn't know who we were and where we came from. So everything that, other people are taught about us, we were taught the same thing. So we adopted another people's train of thought and made them our own and felt bad about where we came from or who we were. So now that we are gravitating, getting a understanding of some things and living, and then we look back and we see, and then we are taught, that we didn't start here in America. That was not our beginning. Our beginning was from the land of greatness. Everybody in most cultures came to Africa or went to Africa to become educated about everything. We were some of the beginners of everything. They say that Hippocrates was the father of medicine. But 2,000 years before that kid was born, there was a brother called Imhotep. And he was the baddest or the first known genius on the planet. And he was African. He was doing brain surgery long before medicine became knowledgeable around the world. He was one of the first scientists, and mathematical genius, was a architecture. Like a lot of the Sphinx and the pyramids were, fabricated by this brother. There's so much history, deep history, that we don't know about, that nobody will tell you other than our historians. And you have to do some research to get it. Yeah, we have to do our own research and begin to write our own narratives. Even my wife and I were sharing on yesterday, she mentioned that there are local people of greatness in the area that you live in, and even in your family. So you need to tap in on some of them to allow that wisdom, that knowledge that they have attained throughout the years to become a part of who you be. So today we're going to talk about this word, Ujamaa, which means cooperative economics. That means that we have to buy black. We have to support our businesses. You know, they say that we as a people spend 4-point-something trillion dollars a year. So that means that we are the mass consumers in this place. We're spending most of the money, but we have very little to show for it. We own no manufacturing companies. We own no, banking systems. I mean, we're just spending and we're not contributing to us. I remember growing up in our village, there were some black-owned corner stores, they called them then. Some had small grocery stores. If some of you that are from Newport News, if you're from Newport News, you understand what I'm saying. But for those that are interlopers or latecomers, it's Newport News. For those of us that have grown up here and been here all our life, this is Newport News.
Newport News.
It's Newport News. But if you're from Newport News and from Hampton, you may remember Night and Day Supermarket, which was owned by Mr. Britt. And there was corner stores like Mr. Jingles and Miss Delaney. And these blacks were, supplying our villages. Even when families ran out of money, and you could go into the store. My parents said they sent us down here to get, and they put it in the book. So when you get paid, or when you can, pay off your bill. We were supporting each other. That's how we were growing, buying from one another, keeping our money in the community. But then for some reason, when automobiles became very affluent and people were able to venture out and stuff, a lot of those either the other stores, other people started to get our business and our money. Those black businesses, the black restaurants, the black small corner stores, and the black just black businesses,
dry cleaners.
They start falling off because we weren't patronizing them. We weren't buying from and supporting our own. We weren't, but we should have been and still do, or should. Now, either gentrification came in and split up the communities. People started doing better financially and start moving out of the village and not contributing back into the village. I don't care if you move into the more affluent places. You are still responsible and accountable for helping to maintain the village that you came from, or that's surrounding you. That's what we were created to do, to be supportive of one another, to be whole with one another, to make sure that our brothers and our sisters' problems are our problems as well, and we'll solve those problems together. So we need to start buying and supporting economically, our own. Like my wife owns a photography business, and that's a part of why we are doing what we're doing now. We're sharing, to let people know that there are a lot of our people that own, businesses, and you can call it a small business. Yeah, it's going to stay small if the small amount of people patronize them. But if we start buying into and seeding into, then they'll grow to become bigger businesses, better businesses, and more affordable businesses.
Exactly.
Sometimes we'll say, they charge too much. Well, unfortunately, we have to. We have to, because the overhead is high, and we trying to not so much even make it profit, even to just make even. Sometimes you have to put out more than you're getting back.
Oftentimes.
So, and if we bought, or if we seeded more into them holistically, then as they are able to, sustain themselves, then their prices will come down too. It become more affordable for us. But you more on that end. You could shed a little light on.
Yeah, well, right now, especially during the pandemic that we're in, and I mean, I'm probably preaching to the choir. I know you've heard this a million times, but small businesses are really suffering. So the Kwanzaa principle of cooperative economics, I mean, it's no time like now. It's so, so important because so many small businesses will go down to the point that it won't be any return. So it's just really, really important, that you all support small businesses. And I will say, I truly, truly appreciate all of you all who have supported me. And so many of you all have really supported me with the calendars that I've produced. I've done my fine art photography and I've created those into calendars. And I'm just so excited and so, so pleased. I truly, truly appreciate all of you. And those of you all who have trusted my photography business for your family photography and some of your business photography and all, I really, really do appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to, working with you all more. I've had to become a lot more creative and, really push things a lot more online because the brick and mortar space that I was in, I'm not doing that right now. But I'm at a point now that I can, if you're looking for a photography session, we can get this done. I can do an indoor session for you. My passion is outdoor photography. I just love being outside. I love nature and the area that we live in. This is prime area because as you can see, one day it might be in the 40s and then, by the weekend it might hit just about 70 and still be December, January. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for a photographer, please continue to consider me. And again, I just want to thank everybody so much for their patronage throughout 2020. Photography has kind of been a passion for me for a long time. And what I did 30 years of service with Hampton Public Schools. And actually 31, I started in an alternative program. But after 31 years of service with Hampton Public Schools, I retired. But prior to my retirement, I kind of wanted to set up something that I could fall into after retirement. And I wanted to be something that I was passionate about. And photography is something that I'm truly, truly passionate about. So I love what I do. I look forward to every single opportunity. And thank you all, too, for following me on Facebook and on Instagram. And I will take a moment to invite you into my Facebook group. Gallery Talk with creative photographer Barbara Gibson. It's not a group for just photographers. You don't have to be a photographer at all, but it is a group for those of us who enjoy visual art. So anything in the arts that you can see, be it painting, be it sculpture, photography, anything visual, then if you enjoy it, that's what we're all about in the group. And it's a fun group, an interactive group. I invite everyone to share. It's not a group that's about me. It's about unity. So jump on in and, enjoy it.
Ujamaa, Ujamaa, Sasa. Yes, and, there's another term in there, talking about creativity. And even on a slide tip, you can take her calendar and frame those pictures. Even when the month run out or, the end of the year, you can still utilize that calendar. You could get you a nice frame and some good matting and put your piece up on the wall or on
Yes.
your mantle or on your table, on your dresser top. You know, you can still utilize.
Repurpose.
Yeah.
There's a video. If you get in the gallery talk group with me, I've done a video showing you how you can repurpose, how to mat and frame your photos from your calendar that you purchased. So do repurpose those images. And I'm getting tongue tied tonight. The matting and the framing takes a photo a long way. So don't just throw your calendar away when you're done with it. I would think there's at least 1 or 2 images, if not all 12 months, that you would love to see in a frame.
Here it is. We come to the sad part, of having to depart. But we want you to constantly remember that Kwanzaa is not just a celebratory type of event. It's also a lifestyle opportunity to create and promote change in oneself and in our children. And that's my groove. I'm a lover of people. Y'all are my people, our people, but your children, that's my purpose for being, and to help to build warriors out of our children, to make them knowledgeable about who they be, and we're thankful for the opportunity that you've allowed us into your space. But I also want you to realize that you are the part of the teaching mechanism in this life that we live, and that you are responsible as well to, instill in them a greatness. Now, we can't tell them what their purpose is, but we can teach them how to live as much as we try to teach them how to make a living.
Exactly.
So we need all of us to be instrumental in restoration, all of us in, healing, all of us in, strengthening and supporting one another. And within the vein of the spirit of Ujamaa, we seek you even the more, to help to those black businesses that you know about, no matter how small, seed into them.
Please do.
Seed into them, and those that are struggling and going to other countries that that have businesses, if opportunity presents itself, support them as well. We're trying to build us up all around the world. And if all the Africans, all the people of the diaspora, that ancestry connect to Africa, we are also responsible for making our home, one of the greatest, land masses on the planet. They are still depending on us to, help them to grow as a people on the continent. So tonight, again, we thank you for allowing us opportunity, and we come to the place where we,
just real quick, just before we go there, one other thing I do want to mention to you. If you're following me on Facebook, either in my Gallery Talk group or just following me through my Facebook page, Barbara Gibson in parentheses Sykes, my maiden name, or Capture Images by Barbara, which is the name of my company, I have been producing images that kind of go along with each of these 7 nights of Kwanzaa. So please take a look at those images in my Facebook pages. And on January 1st, or very close thereafter, I'm going to put a collection of all 7 images. I'll put the website up, and all those images are available for purchase. So please, take a moment and check out those images that I put on Facebook and my Capture Images by Barbara Facebook page. That's my business page. My Gallery Talk by creative photographer Barbara Gibson That's my Facebook group, open to all. So please jump on in that Facebook group. We would love to have you. And I'm also posting those images again on my personal Facebook page, Barbara Gibson. So, again, we just want to thank everybody for watching. And you can find more of my photography on my website, barbaragibsonphotography.com. So if you're enjoying these presentations we're bringing to you, please like and by all means share this video. We really want this to get around. We want everybody to have a good understanding about Kwanzaa and how its principles are principles of humanity. Not just, solely to the black community, but these are moral principles for all of humanity. And thank everybody for joining us. We'll be back on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. each night through January 1st. That'll be our last night, but we're coming on at 8 p.m. each night. So thank everybody for coming on with us, and we'll go over that principle one last time.
Umoja? No, it's not. Ujamaa.
Ujamaa, which means
cooperative economics.
Cooperative economics. So thank you so much for watching, and we're going to close out with our pull together, which is Harambe. So hand up in a fist motion above, and we're going to pull straight down, and each time, 7 times, we're going to say Harambe. So pull together 7 times. So wherever you are, join in with Harambe. Harambe, 1, Harambe, 2, Harambe, 3, Harambe, 4, Harambe, 5, Harambe, 6, and number 7, we're going to hold it. Harambe, 7. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Wear your mask, please, and stay well, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night from the Kwanzaa Moment with the Gibsons.